Today is Saturday, the 11th of October, the end of the fiscal year, and this financial system is blowing out. And while everyone is looking at the markets, the real issue is the derivatives market, the quadrillions of dollars derivatives market, a hyperinflationary bubble which is in the quadrillions of dollars, which nobody is talking about. Now, LaRouche's comments on derivatives have absolutely no relevance to the economy. They're like a fungus, which is a hyperinflationary disease on which we sit. Now, on June 30th, 2008, it was reported that the largest banks in the United States together, JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Citicorp, held an admitted value of $179 trillion worth of derivatives fungus. Now, even without taking into account that the admitted values are accounting frauds, this amount itself dwarfs the estimated GDP of the entire world taken as a whole, which runs anywhere between $40 and $45 trillion. Now, let's take these three banks and their admitted value of the derivatives portfolios. Were we to actually try and settle these derivative contracts at their current face values, that would mean everything produced in the world for the next 4 to 5 years, everything would be owned by these three banks. Now, this is assuming, of course, that these figures that they are giving us are actually indeed the truth. So, we're paying the price of Alan Greenspan. Now, what did Alan Greenspan do? The stock market crash of 1987 was larger by percentile than the crash of 1929. Now, at that point, we could have dealt with the underlying economic problem by adopting Lyndon LaRouche's proposal for bankruptcy reorganization of the entire economic system. Instead, Alan Greenspan was brought in, who said, "Hold on, nobody's going to go bankrupt. I have a new idea of how we can paper this thing over." Now, this idea wasn't new. This is what Michael Milken was sent to jail for. And what is known as 1980s cokehead economics, which used to be considered criminal activity, became the standard operating procedure under Alan Greenspan. So through the 90s, we had the tech bubble blowout, then through to the mortgage mess. Behind the scenes, the entire time, this derivative bubble was growing, and as of now has yet to seriously pop, and has not been seriously addressed by anyone except Lyndon LaRouche. Now, this sets a dangerous precedent, hyperinflation. This isn't the first time that a currency has hyperinflated. We can find a historical precedent which is less than 4 generations old, 1923 Weimar Germany. After World War I, Germany was saddled with an impossible debt load by the Treaty of Versailles, which pinned the entirety of the World War I debt on Germany. And as part of the reparations, Germany's productive wealth and regions were parceled out to other countries, which left Germany without the means to physically produce their way out of the debt. Now, without the physical means to produce their way out of the debt, Germany was forced to produce money in order to attempt to settle their reparations. This process led promptly to fascism and Adolf Hitler. A more in-depth historical discussion of this precedent is available on this website, www.LaRouchePAC.com, in the full-length feature, Firewall. So, at the end of 2007, the Bank for International Settlements revealed a figure of $675 trillion of outstanding derivative contracts across the world financial markets. Now, taking into account the bullshit factor in their accounting methods, it should be easy to see that the actual value is in the quadrillions of dollars. Quadrillions of dollars of outstanding debt that no one else is talking about. Now, this is the real bubble, which has international finance gnashing their teeth. Global hell or global renaissance, that is the issue now. And we have to decide as a nation whether or not we're going to attempt to settle these quadrillions of derivatives contracts. Clearly, if we attempt to settle these derivatives, we'll be in a hyperinflationary mess the likes of which history has never seen before. But that is not the only solution we have available. As Lyndon LaRouche outlined in his most